Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Andre, and today we're doing something I grew up on. I've eaten many times growing up in a German household, and that's Schnitzel. Let's dive in. Normally the Schnitzel is taken from the ham, like the hind leg of the pork, the pig, whatever you want to call it. Today I had some pork tenderloins in the freezer. I was going to do something else with them, but I've used this many times as well, and really they aren't that expensive. If you go to the grocery store, they often have these on sale. Pick them up, throw them in the freezer, and they're going to do you very well. And let's just get to it. Okay, here you go. That is the pork tenderloin. It's a beautiful piece, but all we really need to do to this is take the silver skin off. You don't really want that on there. Just take a sharp knife, run it underneath. The silver skin gets chewy, and you really don't want that. It doesn't make for a nice experience. So there you go. That is trimmed up the way I want it. Now we're going to just cut it a little thicker because we are going to pound these down. Right now, they do not look like a schnitzel. That's where your little meat hammer, or whatever you want to call it, comes in handy. And usually it has a rough side and a smooth side. And all this does, the theory behind these is that it's going to break up connective tissue and tenderize the piece of meat. If you have a bigger grinder, there are usually tenderizer attachments that you can get for that as well. I don't have one, so this thing has been around forever. So I'm going to start with the pointed end. Then I'll just flip it around. So you got a nice, very thin piece, tenderized. So that's going to make the eating experience much better too. Got these all done. We got them all laid out on the tray here. You got to season them. So what I'm going to do, just take some salt. Any opportunity you have to season something, I would take it, because it just will elevate the whole finished product. That, and we're going to take some freshly ground pepper. And now we are at the messy part of this, the breading line. So I've got flour, we've got eggs, and I'm going to use, I got panko breadcrumbs just to be a little bit more fancy today. Regular breadcrumbs will do, Italian, any of those will work. So we're going to get some in here. That should be plenty. Got my flour and my eggs. Nothing fancy with the eggs. While I have the chance, season them a little bit. A little bit more pepper in there. And we're going to add a little bit of salt, just to make sure that we get flavor all the way through. We're all set up. I am wearing gloves just because this does get messy and it's just easier for filming. So I'm going to just take one. Now, putting it in the flour first gives that egg a little bit more to bite onto. So into there. In there, got some nice coverage from egg. Now into the breadcrumbs. Don't be shy here. Make sure you get it all over, pat it down. Make sure that they really stick on there. Then you've got a nicely, I'm gonna just actually put them back on the same tray I'm using. And then there we go. I'm gonna get all that done in the meantime, and then we're gonna get to the final step. Okay, we're set up here. My grandmother, traditionally, what she would do is use butter. I'm not gonna do that today. I've got tallow. Tallow is a great thing to use. I will put the link up here somewhere how to make it. And let's get this show on the road. That should be enough. I'm gonna just leave this out in case we need more. And I can't stress this enough, if you're using hot oil or tallow or whatever, be extremely careful. It can burn. And probably the best way to check would be to use your thermometer. I know we're not there yet, but I just want to see. Or like 250, a little bit hotter. I think we're done. We're gonna, yeah, you know what? Use my fingers. It's okay. It's gonna take a little bit because I can only do a few at a time, but that's okay. We got time. And now them being that thin, it's not going to take a very long time, but we want a beautiful golden color on these. Okay, let's have a peek. They're almost there, almost where I want them. Not bad. I'm gonna. Look at that. They look great. Can't wait. Okay, let's have a peek on the other side. Almost. The one nice thing about them being this thin is that when you're cooking them and you have the color you want on both sides, they will be cooked. You don't have to take the thermometer and probe each one. They're not very thick. They're very thin, and that's done on purpose. Now, if these were like a very thick pork chop or something like that, yeah, you might want to probe it then. These got that nice golden brown color. Take them out, they're done. Anyways, I'm gonna finish all these off and then we'll be back and eat it. I'm hungry, I can't wait. And now look at that. From those 2 pork tenderloins, we've got this whole big plate full of beautiful schnitzel. Now I have to taste it. There we go. You know what? I'm just gonna take one from the top. Nice and crunchy. Oh, look at that. I'm gonna show you here. Look at that, beautiful. Super tender, because you take that time to pound them out. Done in that beef tallow, tastes fantastic. The breading, nice and crunchy. Tastes great. But how I'm gonna eat it right now, I'm gonna show you. Woo, little hot there. This is how I like to eat my schnitzel. Nice warmed up bun. A little bit of butter. Now these aren't very big, so I'm gonna just throw a couple on them. Some nice Dijon mustard. And I'm gonna put on some mayo. Homemade mayo. Beautiful. Just like that. That, for me, this is the best way. That is so good. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's a little bit into my background and how I grew up eating this all the time. But honestly, for me, throw it on a bun, mustard mayo. It's fantastic. Simple. We have such a fantastic product. So good. I'm going to go eat off camera and stop stuffing my face. Guys, thanks for watching. And like always, happy eating.